Hello everybody. I'm presenting the technical aspects of the virtual research environment in the SeaDataCloud project. I'm Merret Buurman from the German Climate Computing Center DKRZ in Hamburg, speaking for the entire SeaDataCloud VRE development team. So as you can see, it's quite a large team. I hope I didn't forget anybody here. Thanks to all of you for your contributions over the last years. It was great to work with you. Alright, just a little note. The focus of this presentation is going to be on the architecture and the technical details. For the more user-facing functionalities, check out the presentation right after this, done by Charles. So 5 minutes is not really enough to go really into detail. If you have any questions about the setup, the abstract is at the end of the slides, and also just drop me an email. I'm very happy to discuss any part of this setup. Alright, let's jump in. So, what's the virtual research environment? Well, it's an online environment for processing data, and obviously in this case marine data. It provides a number of processing services that researchers can use to perform the analysis. And in our case, these services are mostly existing softwares, for example, Diva and Ocean Data View, which is going to present it also in this session. And they were mostly developed for usage on desktop computers and laptops. And we brought them to a cloud-based environment. So cloud-based, so that obviously means that that the computation doesn't take place on the user's computer, but in the computing center, and we distributed the load among various computing centers. One of them being DKRZ in Hamburg, so I went upstairs and took a little photo. So this is the VRE in Hamburg, the part of it that runs in Hamburg. And to achieve this, we have all the services and tools run as Docker containers, because these provide a standardized operating environment, and it makes it easy to deploy services across all data centers, to distribute the load, and it also makes it easier to integrate heterogeneous services because they might have different requirements, different dependencies, and with Docker containers, all these are not obstacles anymore. So from a technical perspective, we have two types of processing services. So for some service, one instance can serve many users. So we have one Docker container that is continuously running and waiting for users to log in. So that's the case for like BioQC service, for the visualization service, for WebODV, for example. For other services, every user gets an individual instance. So we have one Docker container per user. That's currently the case with Diva and with the ERDAP service. This is the case for the more computationally intensive tools because it's easier to scale up. So you just have a new container for every user, so you have more resources, easier to scale. And also for tools that are not optimized for handling multiple users. So frequently, softwares that are developed for desktop usage, they weren't programmed to manage several users doing different things at the same time. So in this case, if each of them is running in one container, there is no problem. So for this latter type of service, we are using or misusing, whatever you think, Jupyter Hub. Jupyter Hub was developed to serve Jupyter notebooks, but it can actually be used for any tool that is Dockerized and that interacts with the user using HTTP. So we use Jupyter Hub to spawn containers of all these processing services whenever a user logs in and requests it. So the benefits of using Jupyter Hub is that it already brings the instance management, like starting, stopping, restarting containers. It has mechanisms for authentication and authorization that are really easy to integrate with our authorization mechanism. And it also has a lot of web security measures. So it cares about reverse proxying, SSL termination, and all these things. So we were really happy that we didn't have to re-implement and reinvent all these things. So that was pretty useful to us. There's a picture of our architecture for later reference. I'm not going to go into this for time reasons. So yeah, to sum up, for our SeaDataCloud VRE, we used container-based deployment, which proved to be convenient for deployment, for maintenance, and for distribution among various computing centers. We have services where one container is running for all of the users. We also have services where one container is running per user. And for the latter type, Jupyter Hub proved to be very, very useful, and not just for running Jupyter notebooks, but also for running other kinds of services. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Yeah, if there's any questions, this is my email address. I'd be happy to hear from you.